In the order of the ancient Sith Empire, there were 6 Dark Lords of the Sith that claimed to have mastered the powers of fear itself. These 6 Sith Lords, known as the Dreadmasters, served the goals of their one Sith Emperor, Emperor Vitiate, as they traveled the galaxy as one of the Emperor's most trusted and prized weapons. Together, the 6 Sith Lords formed a Dark Council that the Dark Lord himself occasionally bowed to because of their immense combined powers. These Sith Dreadmasters achieved their total command over fear by together binding their power and studying the ancient Sith war machine known as the Phobius device. With their combined strength, they were all able to perfect the machine and maintain their sanity at the same time. Previously, other Dark Lords of the Sith who attempted this were driven insane with fear and visions of crippling chaos, but together, the Dreadmasters endured and then conquered fear itself, tuning into the weapon. Eventually, when combined, they achieved the power of the war machine on their own. These 6 Dark Lords of the Sith at their peak became almost one being, fully consumed by the power of the dark side and fear itself. The Dreadmasters even learned the ways of overcoming death itself, as they served as the most valuable of the Emperor's advisors for hundreds of years. Quote, "Once I thought myself a monster, I played in rivers of blood, and laughed as innocence quaked. Yet when I touched the Dreadmasters, I saw that my darkness was but a shadow of true depravity." The Sith Dreadmasters were known to spend even years meditating on the dark side of the Force, only leaving their solitude in times of war or when their Emperor called to them. During their wars with the Republic and the Jedi Order, the Sith Dreadmasters unleashed their power of fear on the Republic, as entire fleets and, if necessary, planets tore themselves to pieces when confronted with such terror. Because of their great importance to the Emperor during the great wars that he waged, the Emperor had the Dreadmasters remain mobile on the Dreadnought ship as they ventured across the galaxy and lay waste to the Republic. He did this to ensure that the Jedi Order had an extremely difficult time pinpointing their exact location at any moment and kept them moving. However, the Jedi eventually came together to end the evil of the Dreadmasters and developed a specialized Jedi strike team that infiltrated the Dreadmaster ship and managed to capture all 6 of the Sith Lords. Following this, the Jedi discovered all methods of interrogation were useless on the Dreadmasters, as they had already experienced the true extent of terror. The Jedi did, however, discover that the Sith were hundreds of years old and desired to learn how they had achieved this. The Jedi, however, needed more time and thus leaked false information that they had executed the Dreadmasters for their crimes against the Republic in hopes that the Sith army would lose morale and that the Sith Emperor would not attempt a rescue. Eventually, though, a rescue did come, but upon being freed, the Dreadmasters turned on their Emperor and took a portion of the Empire for themselves, as they believed themselves as one entity more fit to rule. They believed that together, the 6 Sith Lords were more powerful than Emperor Vitiate could ever be. After the apparent death of Emperor Vitiate, those that still remained loyal discovered that the Dreadmasters were far more sinister and vicious than Vitiate ever was. Following this horrific realization, the Jedi and the Sith worked together to again form a strike team capable of destroying the Dreadmasters. After hunting and killing 2 of the Dreadmasters, one final confrontation ensued, where all but one Dreadmaster fell to the combined might of the Jedi and Sith orders. This one remaining Dreadmaster pled with the Jedi, as he explained he had once been a human and had even had a wife and children before he utterly sold his soul to the darkness. Finally, witnessing fear within the Dreadmaster, the Jedi chose to take pity on him and chose to take him in for study, as he was still extremely powerful and could prove one day useful. Although this Dreadmaster's final fate was never revealed, it was speculated that his power eventually faded without the strength and connection of the other 5, while others theorized that the Sith Emperor reduced the Dreadmaster's ability to tap into the Force from beyond the grave to pay for their final betrayal. At their peak of unity, the 6 Dreadmasters were nearly invincible, capable of killing even armies of Jedi because of their connection to the dark side of the Force and fear. Although it never occurred, it was theorized that perhaps if the Dreadmasters combined their strength at their peak, they could have confronted and killed Emperor Vitiate in combat. As one, though, the might of the Emperor and the Dreadmasters threatened to rule the galaxy, but jealousy set in, and the Masters eventually turned on their Emperor in a last bid for power and control over the Sith Empire. So what are your thoughts on the story of the Sith Dreadmasters, and where do you think they rank power-wise on all of the Star Wars characters, and do they deserve to be called some of the most powerful Star Wars characters that have ever existed? Who do you believe would win in a confrontation between Emperor Vitiate and the 6 combined Dreadmasters, and who do you think would rule the Sith Empire? And as a final question, what do you believe happened to the final Dreadmaster? Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed and want to help the channel out, be sure to hit the like button. If you would like to see more Star Wars explanation videos and stay up to date with all the Star Wars news from The Last Jedi to Star Wars Rebels, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to turn on notifications to see everything as soon as it comes out and to make sure that you become a living holocron today. If you would like to get in direct contact with me, follow me on Twitter, where we discuss all things Star Wars and debate with one another on the various topics concerning the universe. If you have any video ideas you want to see explored, leave them in the comments below the video with hashtag suggestion at the end of your comment so I can find it better. If you do end up leaving a suggestion, I really appreciate it and hope to one day make a full video dedicated to your question or suggested topic. Thanks again just for simply watching the video and your continued support on this Star Wars journey. May the Force be with you and have a great day.